Okay, welcome back to part 2 of this wonderful little scene that we're doing here of the Montenotte Hotel. Oh no, sorry. Is it the No, it's not the Montenotte Hotel. The Ambassador Hotel in Cork. I tell you something. I have a terrible memory. Okay, a beautiful scene here of a kind of a walkway up with some chairs on the left. Lovely glass on the right here. And we've just done some of the hotel in part 1 and we finished this. I'm calling it a pergola. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the proper term is for these things, but it's just a lovely little hut where people go to get photographs, that kind of thing, when they're getting married. So I'm going to concentrate now on this section here. It's glass with some bushes and a lovely kind of timber effect edging here. Now you can see the photograph there. Isn't that wonderful? So that's the plan, and I'll try and come across here as well if I can. So let's crack on. Now I kept everything nice and simple. You can see it. I showed you in part 1 about this. It's just very, very simple, very loose, but I think it captures the feeling nicely. You can always go back and add little details to this, and we will do in the end as well. But for now, let's just move on to this section. I don't know if I should zoom in or if you can see it okay. I want to show you my mixing, you see, but I know it's so far away that we're not going to see much mixing. Let me just come across here a little bit more for you. Okay, that should do. Now, I want to get the palette in as well, you see. There we go. Oh, no, it's just not working. Okay, look, I'm just going to leave it as this. Right, we've lovely glass coming across here. I'm going to start now. I'm going to take a brush. And what brush should I use for this? First of all, what I'm going to do is, before I do anything else, I'm going to take a little bit of tissue, okay, a little bit of paper towel, and I'm going to take some linseed oil, a little drop of linseed oil, and what I'm going to do is just give that area a very quick, light rub with some linseed oil on the tissue. And my reason for this is, my canvas is kind of quite dry today. I don't know why. It's normally not this kind of dry, it's normally nice and smooth and the paint goes around it easily. But it's just very sort of dry today. Everything is kind of soaking into it very quickly. I presume I used the wrong mixture of my undercoat when I was priming it. But sure, look, that's the way it goes. You learn as you go along. You try different things and see what works. Now, that's fine. It's just a very light coat. It's like an oil. A very, very light coat of oil. That will help my brush kind of flow around nicely on the canvas, alright? That's the only reason for it. Now, I have a nice little flat brush here. In fact, do you know what I might use instead of that brush? Let me just see now, where did I put my medium stubby brush? I had it here earlier, but it's gone. Oh, wait a while. Is this it? Aha! My medium stubby. I just love these brushes, especially for this kind of work. Now, this is a glass, they're kind of glass railings, so it's difficult to get the impression of glass with the building going through the glass as well. Do you know what I mean? So that transparent kind of look, it's difficult to get that. So the way I would do this is, I would mix a colour, this kind of orangey brown colour. So I'm going to take some cadmium red, some sienna, and I'm going to darken it somewhat now with a little burnt umber. So we have, now I might even add a touch of black, look, alright? It really is very dark. It's a dark reddy brown. So we have this dark reddy brown colour now. And that's even still not dark enough. A touch more black. I'm thinking perhaps a touch of crimson. I think that's probably better. So we have this very dark kind of colour showing through the glass railings, if you know what I mean. They come up like that, and you can see the oil is really helping now on the canvas, okay? It's really, really helping. And in behind this glass railing now, there's all sorts of bushes and there's trees and all sorts of stuff. So, see, as I'm going along then, I will have to add in hints of those colours as well. Now, it's not going all the way down, there's bushes going along here. So, in reality, That should only be going to around here, look, okay? Because this is all greenery. Now, I just got carried away, that's all. Now, I'm going to add a little hint of the lighter colour then, with some cadmium red and some burnt sienna. So it's going to be a little bit lighter here. Now, I know that there's a window carrying on here, so we leave that out. We let that out for now. And we have a big umbrella coming across behind that. So what I can do is just go across to this side. Now this is how I would kind of paint something in transparency, showing through glass, or maybe rocks in a river or something like that. So this is kind of generally the technique I would use for all of this type of subject. Now, so look, I've that done there now. I'm going to give my brush a quick clean. Then I'm going to add a hint of green going through this. So some black and some yellow, a very dark green. Down at the very back here, look, where the bushes are, a hint of green, and perhaps one or two little bushes. There's all different kind of shapes and sizes now and behind this. A little bit of greenery, just to suggest maybe some bushes behind the glass, something like that. And then I have that done. I'm going to then do the window. So I'll take some blue, some phaylo blue, and I'll take some black and a hint of brown. Okay, so because it's very bright here, it's going to be slightly darker through the glass. Okay, a slightly darker shade, so it's like a greeny grey showing through. Now that might even be a little bit too dark, I can see that. So I'll take a hint of white, look, and just put some white over that, and I'm following the line all the time. I'm following the line of these glass panels, you see. There we go. And then what I might do is soften them together very gently, like this, okay, as if I was softening water. Soften everything, because when you're looking through the glass, everything is a kind of a haze, isn't it? Now already you can start to see it's looking like we're kind of looking through a haze of glass or something. But we're not finished yet, don't worry. Okay, I might take a hint of blue and a hint of white, and just up here add a hint of blue and a hint of white, just here and there, to suggest the light kind of capturing the glass, or the glass capturing the light rather. So you can see it's this very hazy kind of feeling. It has this very hazy feeling to it. And then again, I'll go over down towards the back here and put a hint of that light over what I just painted, okay? Yeah, that is looking good. Now I want to add a little detail to the window. I want to carry on that dark edge. I'll carry this on down through the glass to make it kind of convincing. Just a little, you see, it's just that little bit. And okay, we're looking quite well now, I have to say. What have we got? We have a lovely umbrella here. I'm going to get that umbrella in. So I'm going to mix a nice dark kind of a bluey grey first for this. So I'm going to take some black. Now my palette is very far away because this is a very big canvas. It's 30 inches by 20 inches, which is very big for a tutorial, for me, for a tutorial normally. Quite big, but I'm having fun. Now I apologise if you could see my ball patch. The last thing I'm going to be showing you now is my ball patch, but I have to reach across here. So unfortunately, you will have to look at my ball patch on my head. Now, in the photograph you can see it goes right out of the photograph, out of the painting. I'm not sure if I want this to go right out of the painting. It might look a bit funny if I go up maybe to around there and then pull it down to the reflection as well, so you can see what I'm doing. Now I'll dampen it slightly. and as it comes around this side it's going to be slightly darker, so I'll add shades now and highlights to all of this, okay? And it's going to be darker as it goes through the glass as well, so it's going to be slightly darker down here. Okay, just a nice little suggestion there of it coming down past the glass. And then what I'm going to do is take a smaller brush, okay? A smaller flat brush. Now that's not the one I want. Where is my small flat brush that I had? Look, I use my small stubby brush. Small is stubby. I'm going to mix a darker colour. And I'm using little bits of paint now. I don't have to go crazy with my paint, alright? And I'm going to just add some detail to this. So with a very dark, let's take some black and add some shade to some of these there, and let's come down. Let me just take a look at the photograph now. I have to keep looking back and forward to the photograph. There's one that kind of comes down like that, another one or two. So we're just basically trying to achieve this look of the umbrella folded inwards. Let's try a bit of burnt umber with black. And let's get a nice one going through here. So we have our basic shape done of the umbrella, okay? Then I'm going to take my small round brush and I'm going to start adding some highlight to this. Now, in fact, my small round brush might even be too small. I'll switch to a slightly bigger one, okay? I'll dampen that. I'll take some white and a little phaylo blue. I'm going to go up here and go right down there with some nice light colour, a nice bright highlight, okay? Phaylo blue and white make a fantastic, really bright highlight colour. It's excellent for this type of work. Okay, a bit more blue. Now it's only a suggestion, you don't have to try and make this look identical to what you're painting, okay? I never do that. It's only just a suggestion of the umbrella, that's all I'm painting. And all the time I'm doing this, I'm thinking in my mind, impression, 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 that's all. I'm going to mix a little bit of mauve for this. I'm going to take a bit of crimson, and I'm going to add a hint of crimson here and there. A mauve kind of a crimson. Just here and there to the umbrella. I'm going to soften some of it down as well. Okay, and we also have an extra kind of a one folded in here like this. So there are lots of kind of folds in the umbrella. So there's one that kind of comes out like that. Now I'm going to take some really dark colour. So some black, a hint of blue perhaps. And I'm going to go with some very strong lines. And let's get one or two up there like that. Now, it's just a very loose suggestion, that's all. I keep saying it, but I'm not worried about too much detail at this point. Really, I'm not. And I'll put a little cap, I might even put a little cap on this. Like that, just a hint. Now the next stage I want to do is I want to get some of the bars in on the glass, and this will be a little tricky. I want to create a sort of a silvery effect, so a little blue and a little white, okay, and lots of turpentine. I'm just going to go along and suggest some of the bars like this, okay, and as they go off into the distance they get closer and closer apart, or closer and closer together, you see, like so, and as they come closer to you they become further and further apart. So we'll have one here, look, and notice also as they get closer to you they get much thicker as well, much bigger, and that's the secret to creating perspective. When something is far away it gets smaller and smaller, as it gets closer it gets thicker and wider and higher, you know what I mean? Now let's put one here just next to this window. You can start to see it now, can't you? And let's put one here coming right through the umbrella, and these are completely vertical now, okay? Completely. There's no need to go all the way down because this is all plants, this is all bushes here, and we have a big bush coming up here, so I'm going to put one more here, a nice big thick one going right through the umbrella. So they're the posts, okay. Then what I'm going to do is start maybe adding a little hint of detail to some of those posts. So with my small pointy brush, let me find my small pointy brush now, I'm going to take some black and a hint of phthalo blue with lots of water, lots of turpentine, she heard me, water, God above. Do you think I was doing watercolours? Okay, a hint of black with a hint of blue, lots of turpentine, and I'm just going to add a shade to one side of these, okay, like so, just a dark line down one side, and keep going all the way, just adding little hints of detail. And let's go here, and we have one here, let's fix this one, and we also have little sections which come out, I presume they're just for holding the glass in place, so I'm going to go one there, just little hints, you see, that's all. And I'll add a little touch of darkness then just around them as well, because they will have little shadows. And it'll only be on the right hand side, because that's the side you can see in shadow. Do you understand what I mean? Just like that. Now, I'm going to create some of the glass, and I'm going to use a flat brush for this, okay? Some white and some blue. And all I'm going to do is, if you look at the photograph, you'll see it's very bright here, isn't it? By the umbrella. So, take some white and a bit of blue, and right along the line, I'm going to pull down. But I'm holding my brush at an angle, you see. See what I'm doing? This can be tricky, just take your time and pull that down gently like that. Okay, let's try it again. We try it with this one. And we'll go down, we'll try it with this one. So it's just an impression of the shine on the glass. And I'll show you then what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to soften them now first, right? Let's just soften them in for a moment. And I'm thinking what I might do is I might try something here. Okay, bear with me. I might try my palette knife, and I might let me first mix a hint of phaylo blue with some white over here. I just want to try this now. I don't know if it's going to work out or not, but I just want to try it. A hint of blue with some white, and I'm just going to create a sharp edge first that I'm going to pull down. How's that? Now I had no idea how it's going to turn out, okay? I just want to try it. I think it might be nice. It's not bad, is it? Let's try it with a little hint of white down here. And this one here. What do we think? Not too bad. I think that's alright, don't you? And then to finish it off, what I might do is, with a clean brush, take a hint of white and put one or two little diagonals through the panes of glass. It just helps make it look like glass, that's all. It's not too bad now, is it? It's an impression of the scene. I'm not trying to make it like a photograph or anything, it's just an impression. Okay, let me sit back and take a quick look at this now. Okay, I can already see something now that I want to add, and it's just up there. I want to add a touch of lighter colour to some of those posts just on the tops, okay? Just a hint of light, look. Here and there. Now, okay, how's this? Yeah, it's not bad now, is it? I don't think that's bad at all. I will do some plants and some bushes around here. That's my next job, okay? I think I'll stick with my small stubby, or my medium stubby, sorry. I'm going to make a very dark green. So some black and some yellow. That gives you a lovely, rich, earthy green. And let's go along now with this very dark, earthy green and just cover a lot of this here and come right down to the top of our timber. We have timber here with, just take a hint of sienna down on top of this timber here. Now I'm going to fill all this in here. Just fill the entire thing in with this lovely colour and pick out some shapes as you go. I must get more yellow from my palette. My yellow is gone. There we are. And let me dampen my brush. I always add a hint of turpentine to my colours when I'm mixing like this. It just helps to break the paint and it just moves around much better. Now this bush is not that big on the photograph, but I'm going to make it that big. I want to use my license, my artistic license. Let's just imagine that they forgot to cut the plant back and it's kind of growing out of control. That's alright, it's a nice big bushy plant just in there. Nothing wrong with that. And we'll come along here. Filling it all in with this dark colour first. And this is what I kind of do generally when I'm painting trees and bushes and that kind of thing. I put in a nice dark undercolour like this, and we can even add a hint of blue in some cases. So let's even add a hint of a bluey kind of a green there, look. as a shadow. And we'll take a bit more with some black, perhaps for one or two of these. And let's suggest one or two down here. It's just to have that dark for us, because darks are very important in a painting. Very, very important. You have to have lots of darks, because that's what shows off all the light colours then. Right, we sit back and just have a look and gauge how we're getting on. Now, I'm happy enough with that. Next, I'm going to start adding some touches of light to some of the bushes. Now, you can use a fan brush for this if you like, but I might use the tip of this brush because it's quite nice. It's just slightly splayed out. It's quite nice. I kind of like it. So I'm going to take a hint of sienna, no turpentine, and lots of yellow. Perhaps even a hint of white. And let's see what happens. Let's just see, okay? Let's just try this and see what happens. Now, a bit more white, I think. And let's go along here and try another one. See, not bad, is it? I might take a hint of blue actually, and get a slightly kind of a slightly greenier sort of tone. Let's try one of these bushes here, coming down. And we'll try another one here. We'll try this technique look, going out from the sides. That's not bad. So there's lots of different kind of techniques you can use for this. So just a couple of spiky ones here and there, look. You see? Nice and rich. Let's take a hint of sienna. There'll be a couple of sienna ones, different types of shades and colours popping up. A little hint of Naples yellow. We can just kind of suggest little flowers and bits and bobs, kind of a thing, you understand? Bits and bobs. So we have kind of lots going on then. And I'm going to come up here now and I'm going to try some of this one here. We get some blue actually. Some blue and a bit of white. And that makes for a nice natural kind of a green, doesn't it? Let's try a bit more of that. Okay, let me sit back and take a look at that. Now, I might try the fan brush just for a moment. Let me get a nice soft fan brush and get some white and some yellow. And I might just try some of this. It's catching the light just along there. Let's try another little bit just here. Okay. And okay, let's go and try some more of the yellow and sienna, a little hint of white, and just come along here and try paint a nice little bush. You see, not mixing the colours on the palette really helps. So I'll pick up a little hint of yellow, a little hint of sienna together on the brush, and it creates lovely little stippled effects with different colours going through. It's wonderful. Let's create another little one here, like that, and another bit of yellow for this one, creating a nice little bush just down here. Let it soften off into that dark, creating a nice little bush. Now take a bit of white just to catch some of those lights, perhaps a little bit here. And then let's try our small pointy brush, and I'll get some rich thick yellow with some white and try some spikes, okay? Some nice little spiky plants there. And not only that, you can even take hints of red and add little splashes of red here and there. There are lots of different things going on. And a little splash of yellow, create a little orange. So it's just kind of catching your attention, that's all. That's all it's about. These colours just capturing your attention. Little white again, a little yellow. Let's add some up there. Some little flowers. You can see how loose I'm keeping this now. I'm not trying to kind of go and paint every single little individual plant, but adding little touches of detail at the end makes all the difference, doesn't it? So doesn't that look lovely now? It looks like a very, very busy kind of a planting area. We can add more to this after. I just want to kind of get along as fast as I can for the tutorial, you see, that's all. That's all I want to do. Just fix this one here. Okay, now, right, let's move on to our timber. We have a lovely timber effect coming along here, and it's kind of a warm grey. So I'm cleaning my brush, and I'm going to take some burnt umber, and some black, and lots of white then. I might even take a hint of Naples yellow in this. Let me have a look at this now and see what this looks like. Now I want to kind of tie in with the rest of the painting, so I don't want it too brown. Do you understand? I might take a hint of blue, perhaps. Let's go along and paint this like this just for now. We can add to this as we go, okay? Fill this in. I might take a hint of blue with a hint of red and add a hint of that colour down here. And up here then, it just sort of disappears off into the distance. And let me just have a look at this now for a moment. Okay, I'm going to take my small stubby brush with some new white paint, fresh white, and I'm going to add some light to the top of this. I'll use a little phaylo blue and some white and perhaps a hint of crimson. I'm just going to go along the top of this and suggest some light catching just up there, okay? Can you see that? There we go. And then, now it's kind of very bright, really all the way along, isn't it? I'm thinking I might just take some white and I might take a little brown and I might just bring that colour soften that down here. A lot of this too is kind of experimenting with different colours, that kind of a thing. You know, it's it can be tricky to get something like this right. Most of the time I'll just try one colour. If it doesn't work, I'll try another colour. Sometimes even just try the palette knife on its own. Doing that can help, you know. Now it's wood, so trying to create the wood effect is tricky. You could try a palette knife. Let's try our palette knife now. Where is it? Okay, here it is. And let's take some white with a little Naples yellow. And let's try creating that kind of that wood sort of a look. So we have kind of different size planks all the way along here, okay? Let's just try it. And take a hint of black here and there. I'm just kind of messing around now, trying to create different, just different techniques, different, to make it look like what I want, basically. I mean, it's just a number of different size planks, different types of planks of wood. Now you can, if you like, take a small pointy brush. Where's my small one now? Here it is. And we could add little hints of brown in between some of those planks of timber, just to suggest it, look. Okay, that's one, and that's two, and they all go off to a central point, you see. Okay, and we could add one up along the top here, giving that impression. And in fact, up on the top, I might take some Naples yellow with some white and come across like this. So creating the impression that the top is flat, okay? See what I mean? And then there is this thing that I do sometimes with timber to create the timber sort of look. So I'll take a very thin mix of, say, a bit of brown, and I'll just go along and give little swirls to suggest like knots on the wood, that type of stuff. It works sometimes, you know. No, I haven't trying it. Okay, let's put one or two there, and just making it look kind of rough. It's just, you know, I don't want to be going for too much detail in all this. Just a very rough impression of the scene. Okay, let me have a look at that now and see. That's not bad. I'm going to leave it like that now, just for now, okay? Because I want to concentrate on this area here, or stones and what have you. So I'm going to take some white with some burnt umber, and I'm going to fill this in like that first, okay? Just white and burnt umber, nothing else. Come down like that, and I'll start adding a grey to it then, you see, in just a moment. But I just want to get this kind of fawn. It's a lovely fawny kind of a stony colour. Let's get that in first. Very quick, very loose. Add a hint of black. And we'll see then how we can create a stony effect on the floor. Alright? We'll see how we can do it. I'm thinking the fan brush might be a good idea. and just kind of dabbing all the way along. That might be an idea. We could try it and see. Right, I have a base colour done there now. Look at that. And soften everything off here into the distance. That just helps create a bit of depth in the painting, you see? Just a little bit of depth, that's all. And next, let's get our fan brush. Let's dampen our fan brush. Now I want to get a nice clean fan brush for this. Let me see now if I have a nice clean one here. Yeah, I have one just here, look. That's a nice soft clean fan brush. And I'm going to dampen that. I'll take some black. And I'll take a hint of phthalo blue. And a hint of crimson. And a hint of white. So I now have this nice grey, bluey kind of tone, alright, going through my fan brush. And I'm just simply, wherever the seats are, I'm going to add some of that dark shading to where the seats are. Now perhaps even a hint of burnt umber as well. Coming across like that. And perhaps some just up under the base of this. So you can see I'm just trying to create a very kind of a rough area look. So it looks very rough. Another one here. So you can see where these seats, where the seats are, there's a nice little shadow in around them, isn't there? And then we could even just soften it out by scraping it sideways. Like so. And this is just a shadowed area now. This is all I'm doing. A little bit more brown. Okay, now that fan brush is a little bit hard for me, a little bit on the hard side. I might switch to my large stubby. I'll take some white and some naples yellow, and what I'm going to do is try this. Dab, 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 dab all the way along, look, into the light areas, creating a nice stony texture, stony effect. What do you reckon? Is it working so far? I think it is. Oh, we get a bit of white. Get some dots of white going here and there. It's only just to create a rough texture, that's all. You know, I'm not going to go crazy and start painting every single little stone. That would be madness, wouldn't it? It's just trying to create that very textured look on the floor. So you know then it's a rough, very rough floor, and you know it's kind of rough and stony with gravel and so on. That's the effect that you want to create, that's all. So when you're doing this, I don't try to think of little stones. I'm not thinking little stones, because if I start thinking little stones, I will actually start painting hundreds of little stones, and I'll be here for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end. Now as it comes closer to you, you could perhaps suggest one or two stones with shadows on them, and I will do that. But I find just kind of keeping it simple like this is sometimes the best way. It turns out much nicer sometimes. Okay, now. So look, we have our rough gravelly effect on the floor, don't we? So let's perhaps now add just one or two little stones. Yes, how about that? Let's just take a bit of black and a bit of brown. Alright, and let's just add one or two tiny little hints of stone just here and there, look. Just because they're closer to us, you might make out one or two bigger stones and rocks, okay? And as you go off then, just a little smaller here and there. Alright, just little dabs with the brush. And then I'll add a little light to some of these. I need more white now again. And I am trying to keep it simple. So a little Naples yellow, a little white. And look, could even add a hint of light to some of these. So now when you look at the painting, you can see that it's an impression of little rocks and stones. Just a very, very light impression. Okay, that's all I wanted to do. Now, we have these little, what would you call them, little stones, flag stones, across the centre, coming right down. Let's get those in. I'm going to use some white with a little bit of that whitey, greeny colour, and I'm just going to start here. And I'm going to come right down like this. Come across like that. Okay, just like that. It's just kind of again, a base colour is all I'm using, just to fill it in, just to separate the colours, that's all. Then I'll add a little dark colour to some of those. So I'll swoop across like this with some of them. Look, just like that, see? And with a very small brush, I'll add some nice little detail to some of these. So little cracks. And the edges, you see, just around some of the edges. A nice simple impression of some stones. And it maybe even just soften some of them off into the gravel as well. Alright. There. Did that take long? No. Didn't take long at all, did it? You could probably even darken some of those sections in between, but you know, it's entirely up to yourself. But for now, I'm kind of happy enough with that. Right, moving along to the chairs. And actually, what I might do there, I might just take a bit of brown and just try and separate some of that just a little. Just to give it a little impression. And perhaps darken the back of this as well. Just there. Okay. And the next thing I might do, I just saw something there, I might just add some of these coming over the edge of that as well. Okay, just to help them sort of sit in there and just give it a bit of coverage, that's all. You know what I mean? A little hint of coverage. There. Because they won't all be inside there perfectly, will they? No, that's even fine at that. Perhaps even a hint of a reddy brown. kind of a plant popping down, falling over. And perhaps a bit of shadow in under there, maybe here and there, just a little bit. Okay, that'll do fine. I just want to just go over some of that, that's all. And we can even soften it into the trees at a distance, look. So it merges in together then. There, creating a nice bit of depth in the scene. Okay, we're going to move over here onto the chairs, the seating area, we'll call it. That's what it is, it's a seating area. Now, the first thing I want to do is, I want to darken all this green up here, make it nice and dark. So I'm going to take another brush. Now, I cleaned my my tissue, I replaced it with nice clean tissue and fresh turpentine, okay? So now it's coming on nice, it's coming on nicely. Let's just darken some of this. So I'm going to dampen my brush. Take a little black, a little bit too wet there now. So a little black and a little bit of cadmium yellow. And into that, a touch of phaylo blue. That'll give us a nice, rich, vibrant, bluey kind of a green, won't it? And I'm just going to go in and around some of these here. And perhaps an extra touch, a little black. Now there's a lot going on over here. You can see there's lots of little bushes and plant boxes and chairs and all sorts of stuff. So it's going to take a bit of work now to get this nice. But bear with me. Now I'm just going to soften this up here into that one. Like that. Okay, over here there's kind of a bit of a building or something there. So let me just brighten the top half of that now first with some cadmium yellow. Just cadmium yellow on its own. And let's just go along and soften some with the brush, look down into that, creating a nice sunlit kind of area hitting the top of that bush, okay? Soften it down then into the dark. So now we have a nice sunlit, and look, what you could even do is, with the same brush, take some cadmium yellow and some naples yellow, little, and let's imagine now that there's an extra little bush popping up here and there, look. In front of that, just to sort of push that back, do you know what I mean? Now come down here a little, because there are some kind of lots of little bushes and things, even perhaps something with a touch of sienna, burnt sienna. See, just add a little touch of colour here and there. It won't do any harm at all. It just adds more interest to the painting. That's all we're doing, okay? That's the whole point of this now, just to add interest. Now you can see that, it's just, it kind of just captures your eye. Now a little yellow with white. And let's make it even more vibrant, just here and there. Okay, just like so. And next I'm going to put this brush down now and I'm going to move on to another brush and just get some of the colour on this house done here. And it's kind of a very dark, reddy brown. So some burnt umber, some cadmium red, and a hint of black, okay? Just a hint. Just to darken it down a little. And let's go under that. I just want to kind of represent what's there as best I can, really, you know what I mean? I don't want to make it too different. I want to kind of say, oh yeah, that's the house that's over there, that's this bush, that's that one. I'm just trying to, I want to be as close as I can. Do you know what I mean? That's all. I want people to look at this because this is going to be hanging in the hotel function room, so a lot of people are going to be looking at this. And I want them to try and pick out the little details that they recognise in the scene. Now, the main interest of the scene, the main focal point is this pergola kind of area here, or whatever it's called. That's the kind of the main interest in the painting for me. That's what the painting is kind of focused on. So everything else is sort of impressionistic around it, but I want to kind of get more detail. I will put more detail on this in a moment. Well, at the end I might add lots of little lights and more shapes and that kind of thing. But yeah, you know, I'm trying to focus on that. Now there's a light kind of a timber coming down like that. See, I'm just putting in these very loosely, that's all. and it comes across like that. Another one there. See, you can be just very loose with this. You don't have to be too fancy and too perfect. Put a little hint of light across here and there, and a hint of light down here. And then I'm going to put some black under the roof here, just to give it a bit of depth. Remember, shadows give lots of depth. And a bit of black over here. Now we have a chimney as well. Need to get that in. Okay, let's leave that. Now let's put this chimney in here. And it's the same colour really. It's a dark reddy brown, isn't it? So some burnt umber, some cadmium red. Let's try that first. And let's go up here, and we have an angle on this part because it's going away from us into the distance. So the building, you see, is kind of turned at an angle. And we bring this side down here, like that. Okay, now it's actually going behind that roof, but that's fine. We have windows and stuff coming across in front of this as well, so not to worry. So we have that part done. Then I'm going to put in a little light section again, just like we did down underneath. So I'll turn this down then the opposite way. Now what I'll do is I'll just rub with a bit of tissue, just rub this part off. So you can fix mistakes, not to worry. Okay, like that. And then we have a couple little black, and we have a little black up here for this section and a bit there for that section. And let's get some burnt sienna, and suggest 1 or 2 pots. There's little terracotta pots up there. You can't see them in the photograph, but I'm putting them in. They'll be nice, I think. And let's add a little hint of light to those as well. That's it. Okay, that'll do fine. Now what was I saying about this roof? Oh yeah. Let's get this roof, paint over this roof again now, alright? Little blue, little white, a little red. And I'm just going to paint down over that. Okay, just like so. Very loosely, very dry brush now I'm using on this, very dry. And we have some little windows, don't we? I'm going to use a very small little flat brush for these now, because flat brush is what you want. I'll take a hint of phaylo blue with lots of white. I'm going to just suggest some little windows. Again, it's just an impression, that's all. And perhaps 1 or 2 coming down like this. Okay, do you understand? And try and get the lines a little bit correct on them, if you can. Then I move on to my small pointy brush. Where is it? There it is. I have a small pointy brush here. I'll take a little black. So all these little details now help, they make a big difference. You see? They're just roof lights, that's all. Roof windows. And I know you're not going to try this painting, but look, at least if you learn and get a couple of little hints and tips from them, then that's fantastic, isn't it? That means I've done my job well. Just learning about perspective, that type of stuff. You know, it makes a big difference to your painting. Now, I'm going to just lighten some of the bush just up there, okay? Just a little. Just to separate it a little bit better from the roof. Okay, there we go. Right. Now we have that distance section finished. That looks quite nice. Let's move on now and get all these little chairs and stuff done like that. First of all, I'm going to fill in the bulk of all these plants. there's lots of little plants, okay, bushes, pot plants, that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is just go along and first fill in all those with some darks, okay? Just go along, fill them all in, like so. There's a lot of planty, kind of bushy areas off there in the background. Okay, let's come down here. And I'll just go around the chairs, okay? And we can add more chairs, and there's another one or two off in the distance up there, but I'll put those in at a later stage. Now we have one or two kind of over here. I'm just filling all this in. Okay, let's put another one here. With a chair here, and the chair over here. So it's very dry. I'm just kind of scrubbing colour in between all these chairs here now, okay? We have a very big bush sticking up here. And this is just a blocking in phase, really, that's all this is. Blocking in the colour, getting the canvas covered. This is a big plant box here. We have a lot of greenery inside this. Okay, this is a big one, like that. Okay, we take a look. Okay, you see that's coming on nicely. I'm happy enough with that. And I go around now and I pick out little lights here and there, okay? So now you'd have to exaggerate this a little bit as well. So off in the distance here there could be one like that, okay? Darken it down, and let's say there's another one going along there. So it's just going along and imagining what's there. It's very difficult to tell what is there because there's just so much going on. So I'm going to have to add and improvise to this just a little. Another one along there, like so. I'll take a hint of blue this time, put some nice light blue on some of them. There's one coming down like this, isn't there? I can see. Put a hint up there. You see there's bits of the chairs as well showing through here and there. So I could put some bits of the chair as well. Now that chair colour is similar to this, isn't it? The lights anyway. So let me dampen my brush now and take some white, some Naples yellow, and a little black. Now even perhaps a hint of burnt umber as well. It's that kind of a fawny type of a colour, isn't it? So let's now suggest bits of the chair colour here and there. I know there's a bit over there. There's another bit kind of peeping through up here. You see? There's all these different shades and colours popping up. Let's get one up here. We have a light there, a light on top of this one. So I'm getting all the lights in now, you see, okay? Perhaps there's one piece showing up there. Okay, let's take a hint of black into this. Make this slightly darker. Now I'm filling the arms. Alright, there could be a piece of a box. There's a bit of a box showing up there. No, okay, yeah, that's not bad. This is the box here, a plant box. Let's go ahead and put this top piece in like that. And we also have a bright one coming along here. So I'm just picking out all the lights really first, look. Going along, picking out the lights. We have another one kind of popping up here. Disappears into the bush. So I'll put this colour away and I'll make a slightly darker colour now. I could go with a grey actually, a nice warm grey. Let's take some crimson, some phaylo blue, and let me see now, perhaps a hint of black. because they're in shade, they're quite. Let me just take a look at this now. No, that's definitely too blue anyway, isn't it? Try a hint of cadmium red. Let's try that. Perhaps a hint of burnt umber in that as well. So just go along now and fill this colour in all the way along. Okay, alright, put that there. Just a matter of picking out the shapes, that's all, okay? Don't be too frightened about this at all. It's just getting all these shapes in. Okay, we've one there coming down. And we will give it the bamboo effect then in a minute. Do you know, that kind of dotted kind of look? We'll do that as well, don't worry. Oh, some blues, cadmium red, some brown. Very warm, kind of a dark, shadowy type of a colour, isn't it? But there's a hint of a kind of a mauve. I can see a mauve in that colour. I don't know if you can or not now, but I can see a hint of a mauve sort of a shade in there, here and there. It's quite nice. It's warm and inviting. This is the timber that we have here. So you can see it kind of sort of coming together, can't you? It is coming together slowly, slowly but surely, as they say. Put a piece there. Okay, let's mix up another bit of that colour. So some blue, some cadmium red. Plenty of red down in this because it has to be warm. Some brown. Perhaps a hint of black. And I'm going to make it darker as it comes forward, okay? There we go. Perhaps a hint more brown in this. Okay, I should have used a bigger brush for these sections, but what harm? We'll just keep going as we're going. It's fine. Okay, a bit of white, a bit of brown. But it is a lot of fun kind of seeing it all come together as well. And to be honest, I had kind of worries about this painting, that it wouldn't look right, but I think so far so good. So far so good. I'm kind of happy enough with the painting as it's going. Oh, a little bit of dark there. Darken this one slightly. Okay, take a look, sit back and take a look at how we're getting on. I'm going to get this wood finished in here, and the wood has a kind of a slightly greeny glow here from these plants kind of coming over on it. So I'm going to bear that in mind. So I'm just going to make, first I'm going to make a nice dark colour for the back of the wood here. So some black and some brown. Now it's quite a purpley colour, isn't it? Let's take a hint of blue and a hint of crimson. Let me just go with that now first, okay? I get this in first, and then we'll add highlights to this then, okay? Now, around the other side, I'm going to start putting in some burnt sienna with some Naples yellow. I want to lighten this a little. Perhaps even a hint of Naples yellow again. Just fill this in, and then I'm going to use my flat brush to create the planks of wood coming down, okay? So let's imagine now, there's a hint of green in there, isn't there? So let's take some yellow with some white, some Naples yellow even, and let's just pull some of that colour down here and there. And even some burnt umber as well. Now there will be some real black, there's a black section down here for that front. And I'm going to add some, let me see now, some light mauve. I'm kind of just looking at the picture and looking at the colours in the picture and trying to replicate that as best I can on the painting, okay? That's all. So there's kind of a mauve coming in from this side. Okay, like so. I know now it looks a little over the top, but it's in the painting, I can see it. Or in the photograph, I can see it slightly, a little bit there. Now soften that back with your finger. And there may even be little bits of it in this. Now I'm creating that kind of look, bamboo-y kind of a look on the bamboo furniture. You see, look, just little dabs with the side of my brush, just here and there. Just a little. And we could even add a hint of that colour, just to complement, just let's add a hint of it down here, look, okay? Just slightly, that's all. Now we have the same up here. So you can see now how this is kind of coming together very, very, very slowly, isn't it? Very slowly, but it is coming together. Now, I'm going to paint the front of the chair. So some white, what colour did I use? Some brown, some white, a little black. Just go around and pick out all these little colours. I know you think there's a lot of detail in this, but try to make just impressions. Just think impression all of the time, okay? That's all. We have a nice dark at the back of this one here. Alright, okay, let's darken this one. And then you can kind of start adding little details, little lights. So let's create a nice bright colour for the tops of those chairs, okay? I'm going to go with some very, very light mauve. A very light mauve colour, because they are quite bright, I think. If you look closely, it almost looks like a very whitey blue, almost, on the tops of the arms. There we go. And one over on this side. Okay, do you understand what I mean? I hope this is making sense. And we'll have a nice bright one up there. Nice one over here. I hope now this is not becoming too complicated for you. I just wanted to try this, make a tutorial out of this, because I thought it would make a lovely subject. For a change, it's nice to do something in detail for a change for the channel. I know I do a lot of landscapes and general stuff like trees, that type of thing, but I think it's lovely to try something like this as well. It's just different, isn't it? Now, so I'm just going along now, getting all these nice colours in. I'm going to actually soften some of these. And what I might do actually is with some Naples yellow and some cadmium red, perhaps a bit of brown. What I'm going to do is just sort of soften them down slightly, because they're a little bit on the cold side, I think. Perhaps a little touch of blue. Now with a small brush, I'm just going to dab along to create that kind of bamboo look, that garden furniture kind of look on the chair, okay? And disappearing off down then, like so. Is that kind of coming together now? I hope so. We have a very dark colour inside in the arms down here. Alright, looks a bit better, and I'm going to add some of that colour to this side as well. Now it just gives it a bit more depth, I find, doesn't it? Now does this box here, all these timbers, now it's starting to look a little better, isn't it? Right, I'm going to keep going with these colours. I'll take some burnt umber with a little of the black, and I'll go along the side of this chair here. It's coming together nicely now, isn't it? Okay, we have a piece across the middle, and we have another dark piece of the arm in here. And you can see the grain of the canvas where it's quite rough. Now that's kind of helping at the moment for this look that I'm trying to get. But normally I would prefer if the canvas was a little smoother than this. It is quite kind of on the rough side for me, if you know what I mean. Now let's come across the front of this here. I'm going to lighten across the front of this just a little. I'll try some Naples yellow with some white. It's quite bright over there. Just a little, well, it's not, I won't say bright, but I just want to lighten it a little bit. It seems a little bit on the dark side for me. Just a little, look, just, and down the front here then. Okay, that's a little better now, isn't it? Now on the camera everything is showing a little bit brighter on camera. It's actually not that bright. I think it's just the exposure on the camera, that's all. So don't worry, it's not very, very bright. Some of these. Now, let me get this one, try and get this one looking somewhat decent. I'll take some of this warmer colour as well. You see, it's just little brush marks, that's all. Very random brush marks. You could even soften them across with your finger a little as well. That's all it is. And let's come over here. There's a bit of a seats kind of showing up through here as well. Excuse me. I'm enjoying this now, this is fun. I have to say, it is really fun. Now take a bit of brown, let's just warm this slightly here. Okay, now let me take a look at my photograph and see how we're doing. Alright, I'm going to get the bushes in some of these, the bushing around the centre here. I'm going to try and get some of that done. And I think I'll try the fan brush for a little bit of that. Okay, let's get some cadmium yellow on our palette. Alright, okay, slightly damp brush, some cadmium yellow, a little touch of black and a hint of Naples yellow. And I'm just going to go along now. And you see, dab just like that. Perhaps take some burnt umber, add a bit of colour to it. Burnt umber, perhaps even a touch of red. You see, it's just very loose. You don't have to be absolutely perfect with every single thing. A bit of blue and a bit of yellow might benefit. Okay. See how now that's changed completely. It's just completely filled in one section. Isn't that wonderful? Let's try a little sienna with some white. And I'm going to come over here and suggest one or two of those little plants over on that side. Okay. Perhaps one or two up in the background up here. Isn't that lovely? Let's try a bit of crimson. There could be a couple of roses dotted around here and there. Okay. And look how much that's already changed everything. Now a little bit of cadmium yellow with some white just up at the end up here. I'm just going to put a bit of that just along. And perhaps a little dab of white just here and there on this one to suggest little flowers. Lovely. Just like that. Okay, let's sit back again, take a look. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Now I just want to darken some of the shadowed areas. I want to kind of fix it really. So I'm going to take my little medium brush, it's kind of splayed out with some dark colour, perhaps even just a bit of brown, a bit of black, and just like in around here I want to just sort of fix those areas just a little. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same with the light. I'm going to take a hint of bright colour and just go in here and just kind of refine some of that, you see, just a little. Yeah, that's better, and you could even soften some of it in. Next I'm going to take a small brush and try and get some details in, alright? Try and get a few details done on the painting. So here for example, small little highlights just here and there. And even you could use a very orangey kind of a highlight as well to really capture the light on certain parts. So like for instance, let me get that off there, up here on the wood, there even, for instance. Okay, perhaps even just a little hint of it there. Small little hints of colour. We can put a little piece around these box sections here. Take a little bit of white, a couple of little flowers here and there. It's a very heavily kind of planted area, isn't it? Now let's take some black, and I'm going to get some nice shadowed details going. Okay, let's put a hint of one or two here just to suggest some of the planks. Now we do have trees and stuff coming up through all of this. I can see those, not to worry. Okay, alright, it's all looking pretty good. I'll bring a little bit of dark just across here, just like that, a little bit. Well, we do actually have, we have little steps over here which I completely forgot about. I can see little steps. Let me put those in. So we have coming out like that, little step. I didn't even think of that, because you can walk up into that area up there. And a little light on top of that. Then we have a nice handrail coming up. So you see all these little bits now, these are all the little details that these are the ones that kind of make the difference in the painting. So we have a handrail that kind of comes up like this. And then it goes up like that, doesn't it? Now I don't know if you can see that or not. No. I'll just put that handrail in. Sorry I didn't move the camera. So I'll just put a little step in here and a little light coming up, okay? And one coming over like that. And it just disappears in to this. A little bit of dark next to that. Then okay, that looks good. And another one on the other side. Okay, that will do fine. Now, that's my little handrail done. So how's it all looking now so far? We'll zoom back slightly now and we'll see. There. Isn't that lovely? We're getting there now slowly, aren't we? Now I might add a tree. There's a tree coming up here, big tree. So I'm going to add that in. So I'll take my, let me see now, what kind of brush have I got? I have that one. I'll use this little roundy brush. I'll get some burnt umber and a hint of black. And I'll just come up here and put this tree in like that. Then I switch to my smaller brush and put in a few branches. Again, it's all just a suggestion, that's all. And it's only on the top section of the bush, or the tree. Just a little suggestion of some branches, because we have foliage over this as well. Now I want to put a very dark just down one side of this. Okay, and then I'm going to add light, a highlight, to the other side. Okay, like so. Then some little branches, or little foliage, and bits of this, bits of that, a little bit of everything, okay? And get some red in there. There's a lot of red going on in the painting. It's a very autumny type of a painting. Perhaps hints of yellow over there. And there's even hints of green in there as well. So let's say some yellow with some blue. And we get some hint of green in there. Okay, that's nice, isn't it? Okay, there we go. And you can even use a palette knife. Let's try the palette knife, okay? Let's get some red with some burnt sienna. And look, let's get some of that in there. Nice. Some nice thick coverage. And some sienna for this one down here. Okay. Let's add a hint of yellow to some of these plants. Catch some of the light. Okay, just like that. And then let's go through the tree just a little, sort of push the tree back in behind the plant slightly, look, just like that. Now, I wanted to add a little bit of, now I'm kind of fairly happy with this section over here. I can keep adding to it if I want. You know, it's kind of, I don't know, do I need to be quite honest. I'm kind of fairly happy with the result so far. You know, I'm not dissatisfied with it. I think it's pretty nice. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Let me just lighten some of that there. Just lighten it just a little bit, okay? In fact, I have a bit of a darker shade as well. Just there. No. Okay, let me just fix this here. Right, there we go. That's the opening. Okay. I said I wanted to fix some of this, and I do want to fix it. Well, not fix it, but I want to add lots of bright highlight colour to that. So Naples yellow and white, I think. That should give me a really bright colour, shouldn't it? And up here, I'm going to zoom in slightly now so I can see. We have little touches of shapes, different types of shapes. A little bit down here. A bit on that. And let me see now. Okay, I have right. I'm just using thick white paint now for this, really. There we are, a little bit there. I might get more shadow on some of these. Let me just look around now to make sure if everything is looking good. I was going to put somebody walking. I don't know what to do, to be honest. Should we put somebody walking, or do you think Do you think it might spoil what we have? Let me zoom back here and show you. Right all the way back. So this is the painting now so far. I'm not sure what to do. I see there's a big telegraph pole coming up here, alright. Should I put that in or should I not? I don't know. It might add a bit of balance to one side. I think I'll put that telegraph pole in. There's a big telegraph pole popping up there on one side. So it's coming up in here between the trees, isn't it? So yeah, let's put it in. Let's try to be as close as we can, yes? To the scene. I know now a lot of you might not agree and say, oh God, it looks terrible. But, you know, when you're standing there and you're looking at the scene and you're looking at the painting, people might pick out these little things, just say. They might say, well, that's not there. It should be there, it should be here. So I'm going to just use my initiative and go for it. Alright, then I'll get a very small pointy brush. Where is my small pointy brush? Oh yeah, here it is. And I'll take a little tiny bit of black, just a touch, very, very thin. And it comes, there's lots of little things sticking out. And it comes down like that. Okay, and then it comes up behind. And it comes along like this. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy. Now, do I put somebody walking up the centre or do I not? To be honest, I'm almost half afraid in case I spoil what I have. But it is kind of a wedding kind of a setting. It's somewhere where people go to get married, and this is kind of the centerpiece of their photographs when they're getting married. I think if this was hanging on the wall now and there was a happy couple walking up, I think it would relate to a lot of people who are getting married in the place, and there's probably a better chance of it selling because it's that memory of the hotel and where they got married. I think I might put it in, but first of all, very carefully, I'm going to just draw the outline of the man. Let's say this is the man with his blacky, bluey kind of a suit, okay? Let's draw the outline of this now first, and really, how high and how low do we put this? We have to get their positioning just right. They can't look too big, they can't look too small. So let me see, I'm going to go here, okay? Let's say this is his top half, and he has two legs coming down. Let's just pretend this is a carrot, okay? So we're painting a carrot like I do with all my figures. Alright, let me just stand back now and have a quick look at this. Yeah, not bad. Not too bad. Okay. This is always nerve-wracking, this part. I hate doing this part because you feel like you're going to spoil the entire painting, don't you? And let's get just an impression of the guy just kind of standing. They're kind of in transit, you know what I mean? They're walking. And then let's put a little shadow off of them, and this will really now bring it to life, won't it? And also, to help, I'm going to bring the shadow up on the wood as well. Just a little hint, look. Now, how was that? So that's one. Well, Slowly but surely we're going there. Let's give him some brown here, yes? I don't want it to look funny. And let me see now what else. A bit of black. A bit of black hat. Perhaps a little black top hat. What about a top hat? Should we do a top hat? Then give it a bit of light. Then, next to that man, we are going to have a woman with a white dress, aren't we? So how about the dress? Right, this is going to be tricky, isn't it? I'm just going to go for it. Lots of white, thick white paint. And what kind of a dress will we have? I don't know. I really don't. I really don't know. What kind of a dress would they wear? Would it be a slim kind of a dress, or would it be one that comes out at the bottom? I just do not know. Let's just say it comes out slightly at the bottom, yes? I really don't know, to be honest. And I'm only kind of guessing. Okay, how's that? Let's round it off just a little. The arm. That's not bad now, is it? Huh? And then, let's give her some kind of blonde hair, I suppose. Coming down. Just a little bit of shading on it. Okay, and perhaps a bit of white. She'll probably have a white kind of a veil, I suppose, or something around her head. And then this guy's, now let's actually, before I move on, let's add a little touch of shadow into this, into the dress. Just a little shadow on the inside here. And also a little shadow on the floor. We can't forget about that, can we? Okay, how's that? And then let's put his arm around, because they're just married, he has to have his arm around, doesn't he? Let's make it nice and romantic, yes? Then a little bit of his hand. Now, let me just look at this now for a moment. Okay. Yeah, let me zoom in and show you. If you didn't see that properly, how's that? So that's not bad now, is it? See, I'm thinking of the scale, the size of the chairs compared to the size of them. I don't know, should it be a bit bigger? I just don't know, I really don't know. Should it be a little bit bigger? Should they be a bit bigger? I'm not sure, to be quite honest. It's always difficult, isn't it? To know what to do. Let me go a little bit of shadow down there. How about a few birds in the sky? I think that's fine. Yeah, they're walking away, going up, quite happy. We fix this for you. How's that? One or two birds in the sky to finish this off. I think it's done. I think it's very nice. Just put a bit of life up into the sky, that's all. I'll probably go along now and just add little hints of, little hints of highlights. Look to the stones even. Perhaps just one or two of the stones. And I'll go around and just add little dabs of colour here and there, just to add some more colour to some of the plants even. Some white, little dabs here and there. Just kind of, just add some things to it, that's all. Alright, yeah, I'm pretty happy. We'll be signed. And the next time you see the painting, it will be framed and hanging on the wall inside the Ambassador Hotel up in Cork City. S. Conway. And what I'm going to do then is when it's framed, I'm going to get a plaque made up and put a plaque on the frame. And it will say Stephen Conway with my telephone number and the date. And I think that will be wonderful, don't you? Okay, there we go. Job done. A big clap now for myself. I think I did very, very well with this, don't you? Let me zoom in now and show you what we've created. There's the happy couple walking away to get the photographs taken. I don't know, should I make them a little bit bigger? I'm thinking just a little. I don't know, they're still a bit too small. You see, that's what happens when you're painting, things like this happen. It's just... Right, I'm going to make... yeah, I think I will make it a little bit bigger, look. Just a little, okay? I know now you're probably saying, leave it alone, leave it, but no, I'm just not happy. I can add another little light just in between his legs there, just to bring that up a little bit more, look. Okay. Then, let's make his hair a little bit browner again. Perhaps even add a little light onto his hair. Then again, his top hat. Now, okay. And then we must just make the dress a little higher on the shoulders. Look, that's all. That's easy enough to do. And then again, the lady's hair. And add a little hint of shadow to the hair. Okay, just here and there. How's that? How's that? That's a bit better, isn't it? Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm leaving it alone. Okay, it's been fantastic. I must take a sip of my coffee. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been great fun painting this. Thank you for following me along. There we are. You can see how I just try to keep it simple little shapes. And the glass turned out lovely, didn't it? And the umbrella turned out lovely. And there we are. The Ambassador Hotel in Cork. Right, let me turn this. I'll tell you, that was some job, wasn't it? Huh? That was a job. I'm very, very happy with that. I'm delighted. I'm can't wait now to make a frame for this, and I will stick it in a frame. I will put it up on the wall in the hotel, and I will videotape this then happening up on the wall. Show you what it looks like, okay? Bring a nice hint of colour to the place. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've even got a couple of hints and tips from it. Just about keeping it simple. I know when there's a lot of detail in something, you can get kind of overwhelmed and you think to yourself, God, how am I going to paint all of this, you know? You can see there, I just simple brush strokes, little sharp marks with the brush, and then worry about the little details afterwards. Just try it. It looks lovely. I'm very, very happy with this. Yeah, I must go now and make a frame. That's the hard part. I'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for your support. Do subscribe if you haven't done so already. You're missing lots of great fun techniques in oil painting. So I'll see you next week. God bless and thank you for watching.